It is me, the French maid of the Wonka Well.
Have you ever seen the claymation movie Jack Frost? And do you know the character Kubla Khan?
No.
Oh, well, you were just serving some Kubla Khan energy.
Let me look up Kubla Khan.
And you just have to get...
Yes, the sex icon Kubla Khan. Wait, it's saying his name is Kubla Kraus.
Oh, Kubla Kraus. And then he has like a metal puppet.
Yeah.
That he talks to.
That is actually very me. Anyway, it is me, Kubla Kraus.
Oh, no. Let's go. Oh. Bonjour.
Yeah, why don't you do the French maid? You can do a better French maid.
Oh, okay.
Bonjour, je m'appelle Nicole et j'adore les cigarettes. Et j'adore le croissant. Bon anniversaire, Monsieur Président.
Yeah, why did I do the French maid of it when you can speak French a little bit? Why did I do it?
It was fucking gold, man. That's so a precious little memory I will carry with me for the rest of my life. Kubla Kraus, oh la la. It is me, the French maid. Ooh. Hugh Grant, I'm here to clean your house.
What a sexy intro.
What a sexy intro, because today we are doing perhaps the most unhinged topic we have done on this podcast. It seems kind of normal in a way when I'm talking to Felicia about this idea.
Yeah,
still
to me,
out there.
I'm like, obviously, clearly.
Clearly this is
happen.
the next step. But taking a step back and analyzing this as any other human being, this is bonkers.
It's nuts.
Yeah, this is when people go, how do you have so much to talk about Wonka? And it's because we do shit like this. Because today we are going to be discussing some Wonka eroticas that I found on Amazon and basically going through it. And I've got a little rubric to kind of, judge it. How close is it to the honoring the Wonka canon, spice levels, writing quality, etc.
Mm-hmm.
But this came to me because I just, obviously with any media fan fiction usually happens. And in that fan fiction, it gets really dirty. But also a side separate thing is that on Kindle, people release the most chaotic erotica out there.
Yeah.
There's that infamous one of the woman and the coronavirus having an affair. Like, it's just so out there. And I was like, there's no way that the Willy Wonka format hasn't been used in erotica. And I found a huge list. We're going to go through.
I mean, let's be honest. There's probably like a full porno film too.
Oh, probably. We will not be doing that. We do
this
have
podcast fully in the gutter, and we're reviewing the Willy Wonka porn, and we're like, they didn't do a good adaptation of the. We were really disappointed at the lack of inclusion of the Tinker Man, but they did some really interesting structural changes.
You would have thought they would have done more with the Wimple Scrumptious Fudge Mallow Delight, and they just didn't, and it was a missed opportunity.
But man, the penis machine Wonka built really came back to the forefront.
Yeah, so good for them. Anyway, so yeah, that's what we're doing today. And oh no, looks like I just got a Trojan virus on my computer for looking at this erotica. And I'm opening it up because I don't understand the internet. And now my computer has a virus and it just says Wonka Watch News.
Hooray. It's me. I'm the virus.
Oh no.
One quick thing first. The 2023 Duluth Movies in the Park schedule has been released. At Leif Erikson Park on July 21st, there will be an outdoor showing of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. So those of you in Duluth, go on down. What a fun time. That would be great for you.
Isn't that where Scott Frank Wonka is from? Is that the Duluth?
Wait, yeah, it is.
Oh my god.
Oh my God, they're bringing it back home and they don't even know. I bet they don't even know. We go to Duluth and we're like, stop everything. I don't think you guys know how big of a deal this is.
Before you watch this, you need to watch this hour presentation on everything you need to know about this
quirky little movie.
But the real thing we're reporting on today is a huge snow sculpture of Willy Wonka's chocolate factory wins the UP contest. I don't know what
Ooh.
UP stands for. It doesn't make sense saying what it is. But basically, there's the snow sculpture competitions at the annual Michigan Technological University's Winter Carnival. So they make these like snow sculptures that take like a month to make. And then there's other ones that they do overnight. It seems to be competing by like sorority and fraternity groups because Phi Kappa 2 were the winners, or Phi Kappa Tau were the winners.
Okay.
But they only won in the men's division, which why is there gender divisions for snow sculpture?
Yeah, that
Confuses
seems-
me. It feels unnecessary.
Well, the men's big brains and muscles could make bigger sculptures.
But I do want to show you their Willy Wonka's chocolate factory because it is impressive. I mean,
Ooh, yes.
it is shocking.
Whoa, shit. That's amazing.
It's just okay. The one thing about it though that does get me is why are there so many pumpkins in the front? That one, I guess it's from the chocolate room. I guess. Wait, is this? I think this area on the inside is supposed to be the chocolate room, but it's not very clear in this photo.
Yeah, they kind of, so we have like the Wonka gates and then we do have the pumpkins, which, yeah, okay, that's the chocolate room instantly, because then you have the boat, which they've done a great job on the boat. It's life size. And then the Chocolate River, and then the whole factory's in the background. That's impressive. Wow.
Oh yeah, I'm looking at this other photo. It looks like there's even like a candy shop in one part of it. It's nuts. It's like doing the whole thing.
Wow, kudos. Flowers.
It's humongous.
It's Hugh Humongous Grunt.
Humongous.
Oh la la. Humongous.
Ooh la la. Wasn't that the great piece of Wonka news? I was really disappointed because there was an article from The Onion and I thought it was a full article about Timothée Chalamet and Wonka, but it turned out to just be one of their magazine covers.
Oh no.
And it said like oh no, we asked Timothée Chalamet some really boilerplate questions on his new Wonka movie and now he thinks we're best buds. What a loser. And that was the like magazine
That
cover.
was it?
But I was wanting the whole article and I was really disappointed when it was just a photo.
Oh my
But-
gosh.
I'm happy with the snow sculpture. I think it's fascinating. And get yourselves down to the Leif Erikson Park in Duluth
Yes. And report back.
on July 21st.
July
It's
21st.
so in advance. This is the type of high quality news I get in my email digest every day. Don't you wish you were me?
Every day, Felicia, every day.
Oh la la, is it time for erotica?
Ooh, oui, it is time for erotica.
So
Oh la la.
we're going to see how many we can cover. We might only be able to get through one. And if people enjoy this episode, maybe we'll do another episode.
Bring it back for episode 69.
Bring it back for episode
In,
69.
like, a month. Fun fact, this episode was supposed to come out on Valentine's Day, but we both forgot about it.
Because we got so hyped about the Scott Frank episode. Like,
Yeah,
we were
so
obsessed.
excited and so enraptured by the Oompa Loompa in the Beck t-shirt that we were like, this has to wait.
And that was like 30 minutes before recording. I was like, oh, wait, shit. The erotica episode. I'm not prepared.
So
But
just
now
know
I
there's
am.
a separate universe where we released this a week earlier and the butterfly effects that would have happened. I don't know. You know?
Who knows? Okay, Felicia,
I have
are
this
you
cup
ready?
that makes me look like a toddler.
You
Anyway.
do. This is really
I got
gonna be
this
a
for my
great setting.
colonoscopy prep.
Ooh, fun. What a fun mood to enter with erotica. You with your
The least-
sippy cup. And then me telling you about erotica is fucking wild as shit. Okay. Shall we begin? With
Mhm.
okay, so we have what I'm about to tell you, the most beautiful story. It's The Mystery Golden Ticket to the Discipline and Punishment Caning Factory by Sylvia Crevass, spelled Crevass. Crevass. And there is a content warning at the beginning of the book, which I appreciated, that I'll now read out. The Mystery Golden Ticket to the Discipline and Punishment Caning Factory is intended for adults only. It contains graphic details of erotic spankings and other sexually charged disciplinary methods. All individuals depicted in the book are over 18 and consenting adults. So here we go. This book is set up into 3 different sections. So the first section is called Sophie Receives Her Golden Ticket. So our main character is Sophie Ramsbottom, who is freshly 18 years old. Oh God, can I get through this? And I think I have a pull-out quote here that I think is perfect sum up. Sophie had always been a bit of a bully at her school and enjoyed picking on the uglier, fatter girls in her class for fun.
God.
She always managed to pull the older, better-looking, and more sophisticated fellas. And she usually would even take advantage of her full curves and gorgeous round ass to take a lad off another girl because this seemed to give her more pleasure, depriving a girl of a man who was more satisfying to Sophie than actually pulling a guy because she wanted him for herself. This is a very poorly written book, by the way. If she pulled, in case you're hearing that sounds wrong, it is. If she pulled such a fake guy, she would spend a few nights with the man in question before dumping him to move on to another, quote, best friends fella. So she steals all her best friends' boyfriends. I don't know how she is able to continue to make new best friends. You would think that rumors would start flying and, she steals them. So she's an asshole, which is perfect for the erotic spanking that will happen later. The book then describes Sophie Ramsbottom as a little sex nymphet who was very naughty in her ways and certainly needed disciplining by a hard, firm smacking or a severe caning. And I did think it was interesting that we were introducing caning into this because as we've discussed, the cane trauma that, Roald Dahl probably faced and a lot of other students in the prep schools because they would cane the bad students. So I just thought that was an interesting tie-in that surely the author had thought about.
You're a professor. This is the most serious and dedicated analysis I've heard you make on this podcast.
I wanted to do it right. So we get through this whole, basically the first few pages are just describing how much of a dick Sophie is. Mm-hmm. But then one morning, she gets up early and she walks to her front door to get her mail wearing a skimpy see-through nightie after another night out on the town. A fact that does not affect the scene we are in. It is just, we need to know constantly she is a little sex nymphette. But she goes to check.
It's giving the Maya Mortal. Have you ever read Maya Mortal?
Have I read Maya Mortal? Yes, I have. Oh my God, this really is.
But it's giving the Maya Mortal, my black raven hair, and my
ebony
raven dementia way. I miss reading fan fiction, bad fan fiction,
shitty
so
fan
much.
fiction. It's such a.
I used to bring out this anime character voice that I would do for every male character when my friends and I would read it. But babe, how could you? It's so fun.
Oh my God.
Highly recommend.
So fucking great. Okay, so Sophie's in her skimpy nightie and she finds a gold envelope in the mail. She'd entered a contest to see if she could win a day at Wally Winka's special clothes factory. So Wally Winka. So yeah, she's like, oh my gosh, is this my winning golden ticket for a clothes competition I entered not too long ago? And it's an exclusive ticket-only event for new clothing factory opening up that caters to, quote, girls who just turned 18 and love to wear fashionable, figure-hugging clothes.
All right, Forever 21.
All those Charlotte Roos heads out there.
Imagine Wally Winka is just the owner of Forever 21.
Burlington Coat Factory. Wally Winka. So it's rumored that the winning girls would receive a whole new wardrobe of clothes as well as a VIP day out at the factory. There would be a total of 5 lucky ticket winning girls. And lo and behold, she does get the ticket. And there's another golden envelope inside. So she opens up the envelope. There's the ticket. She's won. But then there's a second gold envelope tucked inside that she's not allowed to open until she is inside the factory. So we do have a nice little foreshadowing.
Okay.
The writing's been poor, but now I'm a little roped in. I'm like, what is in this envelope? What's going to happen? We have to wait. I'm going to keep reading. So the factory is located on the outskirts of a new shopping mall. I don't know why that fucking sent me, but I was like, it's fiction and that's what you did? And then she...
Sorry, I've been snacking on Cheez-Its and I had to unmute myself because of the absurdity of the shopping mall factory. So if my laugh came in at a weird point, that's why. What?
Yeah, I know.
What are you doing?
And so Sophie has a couple asides to herself. She's thinking about like,
You know what though?
What?
This feels so in line with all of the giveaways that like random companies do inspired by Wonka.
right? And I was even thinking about like, it's not quite like this, but I was even thinking about the influencer trips that like people will be like, okay, Two-Face is sending everyone out to Bali, you know, like these weird trips.
But
and
it
stuff.
is like when they're like, go to the factory and win a bunch of shit. Because none of it's like Wonka where there's like a reclusive salesman who hasn't been outside in 45 years. Like this is just like, I don't know.
Come see it.
This is a Zach and Cody Danimals cruise.
Right. And in my head, you know, while I'm reading this, I'm like, a new clothing factory. I don't really feel like seeing a bunch of children working under harsh labor conditions. Like, to me, I wouldn't go clothing factory. That's cool. I would be more like, oh, I get to see like your VIP quarters, or like we get to tour like your new line.
Maybe Willy Wonka or Wally
Winka. Yeah.
Wally Winka has really strong American made in USA a production chain.
Well,
maybe he has a made in USA production
you'll
chain.
Find out.
Okay. I'm concerned.
You should be. So Sophie is kind of planning out how she wants to approach this, because as we have established, Sophie likes to ruin other women's lives. So she, to herself, is thinking, imagine all the horny guys I'll be able to seduce when I finally get my hands on all those Wally Winka new clothing lines in those best sexy ass hugging clothes. And genuinely, like, that same sentence is just kind of repeated for a whole page. Like, we just get different iterations of this. So basically, Sophie's like, oh, that'd be cool. And then she's come up with an entire evil plan by the end, where Sophie intends to get more sexy clothes to steal her BFF's boyfriends, and then decides, sure, actually, I want to try to seduce Wally Winka and hopefully become his mistress. And I'm like, is that the leap we want to make? You want to become his mistress? But sure. We love dreaming big. So that's the first third. A lot of, honestly, at this point, nothing too spicy. It's a lot of description I don't really feel like we need. It doesn't really add a lot to the plot. We're really emphasizing her ass, which I get it. Erotic spanking, that is our main theme. We want to build up, you know, our setting. We want to create that foundation. But I feel like I don't know enough about the characters. And I feel like at this point, we kind of just threw in the factory and her winning. I would have liked there to be something more like a little scary spicy. I don't know. But that's just kind of where I am so far in the story. So we get to our second part, and this is titled The Naughtiest Girl Gets the Hardest Cane. It is the day of arriving to the factory, and Sophie is wearing a tight red dress because, again, she wants to steal everyone's boyfriend and become the mistress of Wally Winka. Her thighs are described as the following. Her tight little round bottom slips out as the material is slipped over her fleshy, thick, but beautifully firm and fleshy thighs, an equally huge butt, round and firm ass cheeks. Like, I think they just copied and pasted words. And they went on about the way her ass looked in this dress for such a stupid amount of time. I was like, we could, I don't know, like, maybe she turns around and knocks over an entire display of something. Like, sure, show me, don't tell me her ass is big, fleshy, thick. Show me. You know,
it would be more impactful if you kept it in a single sentence.
Exactly. And then this, I thought, was an interesting take. I usually haven't come across anything that really focuses on calves, but we do have a whole moment about calves.
Wow.
So she is wearing these really, they described it in the worst way, but after 2 paragraphs, I realized they're just like really tall wrap sandals, like the kinds that go to your knees, like your Greek Roman kind. So she's wearing these calf wrapped heels around her, quote, long, elegant calves, which I also definitely first read as elephant calves, which I thought was harsh and wild. And describing, they keep describing how great these shoes are because they somehow make her butt look great. So here's a great quote. It must have been something about the way that sleek black cord that clung to her soft, tapered calves made it seem that her legs had been trapped by a hunter-gatherer or something. Something that must have sent the men wild, and something which made her posture bend to accommodate the feeling of being trapped and hunted by all those hunter-gatherer males.
What?
Yeah. Hunter-gatherer or something. And so when and honest to God, you know what? If I could buy a pair of sandals that would somehow cause such a reaction,
a hunter-gatherer reaction,
like I might buy them, but I would be afraid to wear them. That's terrifying. I don't think sandals are cute. I've never gone, those are sexy sandals. They
I'm
make my
going into
ass
the
look
shoe
great.
store, and I'm like, do you have any sandals that would make the men's hunter-gatherer instincts come after me? Because they're laced up so tight, it looks like I am the prey. What?
Can I get a pair of sandals that are so sexy they somehow make my fleshy, thick, but beautifully firm and fleshy thighs look equally huge but round, and I have firm ass cheeks? Is that possible,
It's
Payless?
so much time spent describing body parts.
It really is.
Which I don't think is that sexy, honestly.
It's kind of becoming anatomical at this point. Also, if you keep...
Yeah.
And I made a note here. The phrase...
I could make an architectural draftsman design of this woman.
Exactly. And it's just... I'm not interested, you know? And no joke, the phrase round rolling ass cheeks has been said too many times at this point in my reading.
Yeah.
Round rolling ass cheeks. I'm like, I'm just imagining like a waterbed at this point. Like this is...
Yeah, the whole body type thing I don't get, because like I like women and I don't like what is this doing for you? Like what are you getting out of this?
If someone put that on their Hinge profile, I'd be like, goodbye.
Honestly, the entire description could be a match for the Pillsbury Doughboy.
Sophie Ramsbottom is now canon, the girlfriend of the
honestly
Pillsbury Doughboy.
That's made me like this story so much more, is picturing a little Pillsbury Doughboy.
Yeah,
I'm fixing it, like her with a little bob.
Oh
like
my god,
with like a little swoop.
So you keep that mental image for the rest of this story.
Honestly, it's probably gonna make it a lot more tolerable. A little Pillsbury Dough girl in
getting
giant
erotically
Greco-Roman. Yeah, in giant Greco-Roman sandals. It's part of the baking process, Elaine. It has to happen.
You have to knead the dough. Why is that more compelling than what we're reading right now? Anyway. Okay, so she's in a red dress and her butt looks great, is what we could sum up from the first 3 pages of this section. So we enter the factory. The great thing here is that there are obviously other girls who have won and who are here. And a woman appears before the iron gates holding a large loudspeaker and asks all the winning girls to come forward. And the other women, according to Sophie, aren't sexy at all and basically look like they didn't even try. So she's feeling pretty great. She's like, I fucking went for it. Wally Winka and I were so set. And so we kind of still have the same fanfare, weirdly enough, around this factory. Like the news press is all around, which honestly, I would think this is the least newsworthy like thing ever. No one's going to be like with bated breath.
We did report on the Duluth movies in the park, so I think anything can be news.
But we're not like crowding the Duluth. We're not going to be there with our microphones taking paparazzi shots. You know, this is what's happening here. And I'm like, this is weird. So also, Person with Factory is this woman with a large loudspeaker bringing in these girls, which I thought was interesting. I'm like, okay, who's this woman? Where are we going with this? So the woman leads them to the main part of the factory where Wally Winka will greet them. And Sophie, internally, she's going, this is it. This is it. I am here inside Wally Winka's new factory, and all the other girls are bland and ordinary looking. So surely I will surely win all the clothes. Yippee!
Oh my God!
She said, yippee!
Yippee!
And I was like, you know what? If yippee ain't the sexiest word alive, if that does not...
It is nuts to have yippee in an erotica.
Which is why you saying Pillsbury Doughboy energy is unfortunately really, really fitting right now.
Yeah. Picturing her as a Pillsbury Dough person has fixed this for me. Like, it's made this doable.
So as the gates close behind her, Sophie finally, quote, awakes from her inner slumber and senses that something isn't right about this. The factory doesn't look like a closed factory at all. Here's a snippet. She soon realized that she was now trapped inside a sinister, bare factory building, a rather gray and unused old-looking building, and not inside the glamorous clothes-filled interior that she had been imagining.
All right, Saw.
Okay, this is where things are about to take a turn. A number of female factory workers, that's how they're referred to, come out, and they are all dressed in matching gray suits and tight skirts. And essentially, this is their canon version of Oompa Loompas. Bunch of women wearing matching gray suits and tight skirts. Okay. God, okay. They circle the ticket winners, and 2 of them barricade the door.
Okay, yeah, keep going.
So then the head of this group of women comes forward, and Sophie describes her as an older woman, but she was strangely good looking, which what a fucking read. Ouch.
Yeah.
An older woman, but she was strangely good looking. That's just rude. And then we have a twist where we have all the ticket winners and Sophie there. The woman then just says out of nowhere, like, we don't have that context yet that I just told you. She's just barricaded the door. And then the woman goes, "To all the girls assembled here, thank you for coming today. Your cash rewards will be sent to your homes very soon. You are now all free to go now. Thank you for being part of the plan." And I was incredibly confused because I was like, well, who? That's it. What? And Sophie is also like, what the fuck are you talking about? And then the other ticket winners turn to Sophie and start pointing and laughing and sticking their tongues out at her.
Oh my God.
Like
this
a bunch of
scary,
10-year-olds.
But like kind of, okay, why did I think it was scary? But like, imagine you got barricaded in a place and you thought the other people who were in it with you were also turned on you. Horrifying.
If you were in a barren factory and the army of women wearing similar dystopian gray uniforms barricaded the door and then said you were free to go, I'd be like, we're getting trafficked.
It is
not
giving
a good
me
sign.
like a Wattpad dystopian novel.
Yes.
It's very The Selection by Kiera Cass. You ever read The
Ooh.
Selection?
Oh, I am not familiar, but exciting.
Oh, it's not good.
Oh.
It's not very good.
Oh, no. So yeah, Felicia, I fucking died. It was one thing to point and laugh, but sticking their tongues out, I was like, what are you doing?
You're stupid.
They mock Sophie and then they leave the factory. And Sophie's like, okay, I'm going to leave too. But the head Oompa Loompa, I'm just going to call them sexy Oompa Loompas, tells her she has to stay because she is wanted by Wally, the spanking specialist.
Vava Voompa Loompa. Sorry.
Oh no. Oh no. And literally, that is the quote. This is what the woman says. She is wanted.
Says Vava Voompa Loompa?
No. God, I wish that would have been gold. We are not at the writing scale. Sylvia Crevass, I'm sorry. We can both agree this is not well written, and I don't think that was your goal. She is wanted by Wally, the spanking specialist. Sophie's like, what the fuck? And she tries to escape, but there's like no hope. It's spanking time.
So is the spanking his side thing, or is that his real thing?
Oh,
and the
we'll get to
clothing's
that.
The side thing.
No
that
worries.
we get
We'll
into that. Okay.
So up next, the woman then is trying to explain to Sophie, now your little butt is going to get the full treatment from Wally.
I thought she had a huge ass. I thought this was established earlier.
You know, who's to say? Oh, this is a whole dialogue. Sorry. So head Oompa Loompa goes, now your little butt is going to get the full treatment from Wally. Sophie goes, my bottom's going to be spanked? What do you mean? You have been selected for punishment. Okay.
I don't know what that means.
What do you mean? I don't understand. And then the head Oompa Loompa goes, you have been selected for punishment due to your naughtiness. One girl each month is selected to be spanked by Wally. Each month.
Does the paparazzi come every time?
Every single. That's why I was confused. I was like, we have our first plot hole. You know, maybe this was a rough draft, but yeah, we can't have the news out there every day unless they are actors, which seems a bit aggressive because, again, I don't think anyone would expect there to have to be news. So, you know, whatever. Who knows if it's a plant? So he has like photos of his spanking victims later, but, you know, a plot hole. But yeah, one girl each month is selected to be spanked by Wally here in our secret factory to teach them a lesson. Their bottoms are tied down and spanked hard to teach them a lesson they will never forget. So Sophie's like, that's really fucking weird. This has to be a lie. You're joking. And so she demands to see Wally Winka herself to show this head Oompa Loompa that she's lying. And in my head, I'm like, this is such a dumb idea. He was just described as the spanking specialist, Sophie. Why would you call him forward as though this person you've never met is suddenly going to be like...
who I think will help me get out of this situation where I'm going to be spanked? The spanking specialist. I think he will not spank me and take and get me out of this situation.
Exactly. You know who I think would be so helpful is the man who owns and runs this factory and has employed this army of women in gray suits who have barricaded the door.
I
said
really
there was a
don't want to get
plan.
murdered, so I'm going to call up my friend Jack the Ripper and keep me safe.
Yeah, you know, yeah. So Sophie, she's dumb. She's dumb. I think we can safely say she's dumb. She's a bad person and she thinks she's hot shit, which maybe her rolling ass cheeks do. I don't know.
And she's made of dough. So
she is made of dough. You're so true. Such a right. So yeah, Sophie's like, I demand to see Wally Winka. And the head Oompa Loompa goes, oh yes, my girl, you will see Wally all right. You will see him sooner than you think. He has secretly picked you for the shape and size of your bottom himself. Wally picks a naughty girl each month, you see. The girl he picks is never naughty again after he has given the bottom a good seeing to. And then and then there's a
Why
sentence
does
about...
it feel like this erotica had a word count?
Right? Like they just kept filling it.
Like it was trying to get a word count in.
Yes. There's a lot of repetition. I think you might have noticed every time I say something, we almost repeat the same thing again and again, and it got a little tiring. But right after the head Oompa Loompa says that, there's a sentence of basically suggesting that the head Oompa Loompa is aroused, telling Sophie this, and then I wrote the note, LOL, I'm reading this at a Barnes and Noble.
Yeah.
And this is a good little moment segue to discuss how there was a very nice man sitting in front of me at the Barnes and Noble. He had a Bible on his table. He was going around asking everyone in the cafe if he could get them anything. Very nice. And this man comes up to me while I am in the depths of reading this erotica and taking notes, and he asks me if I want anything. And it was just a weird timing, and it was the word I was reading it in public. I get it. And I do own a privacy screen now for both my laptop and iPad due to this podcast specifically.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a bummer. He didn't see anything, but it just felt, like when you get caught with something and you're like, you instantly know, Shirley, everything's going on right now.
Yeah.
So it's a special moment. So yeah, anyway, head Oompa Loompa is aroused telling Sophie about the spanking specialist. Cool. So the woman then leads the other ladies and her little, the other Oompa Loompas essentially into a back and forth chant about...
I feel like this is just showgirls. Fun fact, I had a colonoscopy recently and I watched Showgirls while I was shitting my brains out on the toilet, and it was like the peak experience.
And that's the review you need to put on Rotten Tomatoes.
My Letterboxd review just says ideal poop movie. Ideal colonoscopy prep film.
You know what? That's an Instagram that I would follow in a heartbeat. Ideal poop movies and books. And you should run it.
It worked great.
I bet you have amazing recommendations. That's
I'm
fantastic.
so fucking good at it. The Giver, fantastic. You can read it in about 2 diarrhea sessions. It's great. Highly recommend. You gotta find books that, if you start it and you want to finish it, it's not that much of a time commitment after you've done the pooping.
Yeah.
So,
Good
Animal
life
Farm.
Lessons. Animal Farm. So, wow, I'm learning so much.
Yeah.
Stock up your bathrooms, kids. So, the woman leads the other Oompa Loompas into no joke, this was creepy, a back and forth chant about how Wally can't wait to spank Sophie's tight, round little bottom over our giant ball.
Okay, so,
The older woman then whispers in Sophie's ear, Wally will be out very soon to see you hauled over the ball. And Sophie's like, what the fuck is the ball? And I was like, girl, same. What is this ball that's happening?
New Year's Eve! Ryan Seacrest! Happy rockin' New Year!
So then Wally Winka enters the room. Here we go.
I forgot about the whole fashion part of this, and I was like, that's what Ryan Seacrest does? I was like, wow, that's
he's a fashion model. Oh my gosh. Wally Winka enters the room. A distinguished looking man in a colorful suit and top hat. Period. He was well into middle age, but Sophie still thought that he was very good looking for his advanced years. We're very ageist in this book. So she's like, he's older, but sure. And then Wally Winka introduces himself. He goes, oh gosh, what voice?
I am Wally Winka, the boss and owner of this new factory.
Or everyone just picture the Henry Golding Wonka,
Oh my God.
voice.
I am Willy
Hello.
Wonka.
I'm
Hello.
Willy Wonka.
Wait, okay.
I'm Willy Wonka.
I'm the spanking
me.
specialist. I'm just going to sound like a sad, tired British goldfish here.
spanking specialist,
I'm Hugh Grant. Okay. I am Wally Winka, the boss and owner of this new factory. It is a spanking factory, and only the naughtiest girls are sent here.
You can't just call it a factory.
You can't. It's not a factory.
This
it's
is
a barren
building.
warehouse,
This is
basically.
a building
Yeah.
that you are doing your weird business in.
It's so weird. But it's a spanking factory. I've never seen a spanking factory, Felicia. Maybe I'm too quick to judge here. It's a spanking. You don't need a lot of room, I guess, but it's still a large barren room. It's interesting. So
I rent out an entire warehouse.
Mr. Beast's new spanking factory.
I invited to a bear and wizard so they could get spanked by Willy Wonka. No, Wally Winka. So they get spanked by my spanking specialist, Wally Winka. And if they make it through 8 rounds of spanking, I'll give them $12 million. Yeah. It's me, Mr. Beast.
Whoa. Okay, yeah. It is a spanking factory, and only the naughtiest girls are sent here. You are the one and only girl who has now been selected as being the naughtiest girl for spanking at the hands of yours truly.
Oh la la!
Winka said, taking a bow with a sweeping gesture of his top hat. My next note was, I am stressed.
Winka fucking sucks as a last name. I hate it so much.
Why not Winka?
Literally, it's right there.
Wally Winka. Why Winka? I hate it. So Sophie's like, oh, hell nah. And she started to get worried about how he's going to spank her, like as though this is the most shocking thing ever. She says, quote, in her head, he was a spanking specialist and not a clothes guru. So only God knew how he was going to smack her bottom. I feel like there's only Are you kidding me, Sophie?
There's like one way to do it. I mean,
there's like it's the same thing. It's not like I don't know how many ways you think it's gonna happen. Like, look around the barren room. There's only so many options. I don't know. Like, I'm like, I feel like this is the least of your concerns right now, figuring out how he's gonna do it. Also, why are you still shocked that he's not a clothes guru? He's a spanking specialist, and yet you knew about his clothing line. So clearly clothes are made. A little inconsistent again with her plot line. Yeah. That's a note I would say to Sylvia Crevass. Maybe go back and, tie that up a bit. Yeah. I think there could still be clothes. He could still be a clothing guru. And maybe that could be part of the spanking. I don't know. We'll see. So Wally Winka's
how they shape the jeans.
Exactly. For her round rolling ass cheeks and her fleshy thick thighs and her elephant calves.
Not to make a critique, but this would have made more sense if it was painted under the guise of we need to make the jeans fit right, even though that doesn't make fucking any sense. But it would have tied in the pieces.
Oh, yes. So Wally Winka is like, sorry. And then he just repeats the same fucking rule about the once a month reform spanking. And I'm just I'm over it. Here's another one. Quote, I'm afraid I cannot let you go until I have spanked you, Sophie. It is my duty and my job to smack that bottom of yours.
Who is employing him?
The factory workers shall all watch as your gorgeous ass is bared for the caning and your naughty bottom hauled over the ball. And then Sophie's like, no, let me out of this foul, dingy factory at once. I came for my clothes prizes. I don't want to be smacked. My bottom has never been smacked before. I will not allow it to be smacked. Now, you might have recalled there was that second gold envelope that we've been waiting with bated breath to see what's inside of it, and she wasn't allowed to open it until she was in the factory. And now Wally Winka tells Sophie to open up that secret second gold envelope, and there's a ticket inside, and it reads, "The naughtiest girl gets the hardest cane on her naughty bottom from Wally Winka," as though it is a cheap mass pack Valentine card that you put in everyone's little shoebox thing in school on Valentine's Day. And every word is each word is capitalized. Not all caps, just the naughtiest girl gets the hardest cane on her naughty bottom from Wally Winka. Of course it's from Wally Winka. How stupid. I feel like the author really could have done more with the second ticket. I think it could have been more we first enter it.
I just realized my microphone has been muted for a minute. And I've been talking. This gives us no new information.
It doesn't. Well, because then
There's no new information.
What if she had walked in, there are all these clothes, and then they're like, oh, okay, go ahead and open the envelope. But she's the only one that has it. She reads this. She's like, what? And then we have everyone turn and point and laugh and stick their tongues out of her. That would have caused more suspense.
And he's like, see? It's not like a magician doing a reveal. No, I wrote the number down ahead of time. It's not a reveal.
We fully know that he's a spanking specialist at this point. Also, we know he's going to spank her. This is well known at this point.
I have a joke for a thing that happened a minute ago.
Okay.
The part where she was like, I will never be spanked and I will not let it be spanked. It was giving very, I've never been spanked. I've never have been spanked. If I wanted to be spanked, yes, I probably could go out and get one because I am sickening. You can never get spanked because you are not that kind of girl. Maybe everything I've worked for, I've gotten myself. I built myself from the ground up, you fucking bitch. It just,
it really does.
It was the Shangela Sugar Daddy monologue.
Oh my God, it does.
Beautiful. Again, just, better ways to do it. So then Wally Winka is being all weird with his cane because he has a cane because he's, Wally Winka. He's like twirling it, etc. And then we finally get a description of what the author refers to as Wally's costume, not his outfit or his fashionable thing. It's a costume. He's wearing a slick red jacket and a green tie with matching trousers. And I'm just going to let that sink in for you. A red slick jacket and a green tie with matching trousers. This is the worst.
Holiday season.
Right? I was like, oh, Wally Winka is Father Christmas. Giving out spankings for Christmas.
Spank with a cane on your butt.
You want a candy cane?
The cane
on
is
your
coming
ass.
down on your butt.
Just hear those sleigh bells ring-a-ling,
this is like
spanking.
the stupidest joke.
So Wally's being all weird with his cane, twirling it, and he's wearing that awful costume. And then yet again, we get a rundown on the rules. She's told she needs a spanking for her evil and errant ways. He then yet again mentions that he has a special smacking ball. We then learn, I think this is like
just a yoga ball.
We'll get to it. It's weird. I'm gonna need help visualizing it because it was hard to figure out what exactly was happening. Yeah, possibly. I'm not really good at spatial thinking. But then we learn that Sophie is wearing micro knickers.
And
I'm like,
so a thong?
A thong, but I've never heard it referred to as a micro knicker, and that might be a different, maybe this is,
I'm going to do an incognito Google.
Thank you. Everything written in here is in that Canadian English spelling form, realized S's, color has a U.
Okay,
so I'm not sure.
It's like a thong, but the bottom is right before the vag.
Gotcha.
Well, not the bottom, but the top of it is right before the vag.
Gotcha.
So you can see the whole pubis.
Amazing. So she's got those on. And then Wally casually mentions that the authorities turned her over to the factory, and that got a little weird. That's how he got.
You have stolen too many girls' boyfriends, and by the law, you now have to go to Wally Winka's caning factory. From the sick and twisted mind of Wally Winka.
Tim Burton presents
Wally Winka.
So thus ends the second part. We're now on our final third of this journey, and it is titled Wally Winka Smacks Sophie's Soft Little Bottom. And
this is a Lars von Trier movie. It's a good joke. You have to leave it in. It'll hit beautiful. For one person.
I will. I enjoy because I know that they're good, and it brings me joy even though I don't know them.
Yeah.
They're just fun little tidbits. So the section headings here, I think they give away too much. And also, we've been hit over the head, smacked, if you will.
I wonder what's going to happen in part 3.
I'm like, God, we're 2/3 of the way through, and we're still just talking about the spanking. So
if she doesn't get spanked in Act 3, give me my money back.
Yeah. Right. So this is where things kind of get spicy. So the factory workers, the woman, they gather Sophie and they place her over an oval ball referred to as the spanking ball. And then her hands and feet are chained to 4 different poles. So here's a snippet. It was the dreaded bottom smacking machine, the fearsome looking spanking contraption that Wally had been talking about. Is it a machine? The dreaded bottom smacking machine? We've just been talking about how he's going to smack you, not there's a machine, which is weird. And then she was just trying to accept. She's like, I think this is starting to happen. And she kind of gets into it. She's into it now. And in her head, she goes, yes, her unspanked, knickerless virgin bottom was going to be thrashed over the smooth black ball in the dingy factory. And she had to accept this fact. So, whoa. So Sophie's again kind of into it, and she starts referring to Wally in her head as her dominant spanking master. Sorry, imagining the Pillsbury Dome fucking boy. You're muted again if you've been talking.
Fucking shit! Garbage! How dare I want to eat Cheez-Its while I record and have a simple joy in my life.
Were there any thoughts you want to go ahead and share?
I have been doing a brief drawing of what I imagine the machine.
Oh, thank goodness.
This is what I'm thinking is going on here.
Yes. Okay. That's kind of what the spanking machine looks like, a plunger. They just go boop, boop.
Yeah.
And that person looks like an earless, tailless
Pillsbury
dog.
Doughboy.
Wow. That's amazing. Thank you. Okay. That's kind of what I was thinking too.
Glad to know we concur.
Perfect. So you know what? Good description, Sylvia.
Do I not throw this away and just keep this on the side?
I think so. I think that gets framed. That gets to go in our Wonka Watch museum.
That goes in the archives.
Beautiful. So so she's referring to Sophie Ramsbottom is referring to Wally in her mind as her dominant spanking master. And then the most bizarre description then goes on for at least 3 pages talking about this weird hook machine that Wally Winka uses to pull up her skirt and her underwear, and it makes absolutely no sense. Wally Winka begins this process by saying to the factory workers, "Let us strap her down, factory workers. Workers of this factory, unite," he said, as if this was some kind of mantra prior to a factory smacking commencing. What? So that's when the sexy Oompa Loompas set her up on the spanking ball. And then this is how the hook mechanism works. Winka had a button on his cane to release a special hook that he was going to use to release the skirt by pulling it up over the buttocks in order to reveal the panties that would soon be visible to all in the factory. So first off, is that what's in Wonka's cane? Is that under the presence in Wonka's cane is a button to the smacking machine? Special hook. We finally answered it. Sylvia Crevass, you've helped us so much.
Watch the movie happens and they don't even reveal it, and it's just a design element.
If there's not even a single spank, I'm going to be so sad. Yeah, if the cane actually...
2023, I predict that a spank will be happened.
I will shit myself if someone gets spanked in Wonka. I'd be like, whoa, okay.
You have to give, what is it, Sylvia Crevass her dues.
Crevass.
Yeah.
Crevasse. Ooh, oh la la.
Ooh la la.
Okay, so so Winka was like someone at a fairground, hook a duck stall as he stood at the top of the platform at Sophie's top end and placed the hook at the end of her skirt, gripping it at the hem with the huge hook. Fucking wild. So basically, for some reason, instead of using hands, we use a hook to just pull back her skirt, pull up her underwear so we all look at her ass. Bada boom. And so Sophie starts playing into the role play of all this, and she's like, "I'm sorry for being so naughty, Mr. Winka. Make me a good girl," etc., etc. We have a lot of unnecessary descriptions of her ass. At this point, we know it very well. We are intimate with her ass. We know the thickness, the roundness, the jiggles. I'm over it. I'm over it.
We're all over it.
Wonka.
Oh, is this
okay? This is where things get fucking wild. The spice levels increase. Get your Pepto on hand. So Wonka then lets his sexy Oompa Loompas, quote, "do what they need to do with this bottom before it is smacked." Here we go. Quote, "Thank you, Mr. Winka. All the lesbian factory workers answered." They're lesbians.
Oh, God.
Yeah. All the lesbian factory
Not
workers.
like this. Not like this. Oh, yeah.
Here we go. "Thank you, Mr. Winka." All the lesbian factory workers answered as they all positioned themselves one by one between and nuzzled their faces of the girl who was trapped down beneath their frantic mouths. The women were like greedy dogs as they and Sophie's ass, making it all wet with their saliva.
This is the least
sexy thing.
The least sexy description of eating ass I think ever written.
It's so mechanical.
Why would
she's
you
on
say,
an exercise
like,
ball?
Greedy dogs? What are you talking about?
Greedy dog. Yeah, and like
this sounds like the way she's sitting sounds like she's at a birthing seminar.
It's a Lamaze class.
Yes, a Lamaze class.
Yeah.
Is this what was happening at the Lamaze class? Judy, answer. I don't know what I'm talking about.
My maternity yoga class took a really interesting turn tonight, Dave.
It's just it's so fucking weird. And then Winka's like, "Okay, that's enough, ladies. We're done now." And then they start bringing out the oil, and now we're oiling her up.
Oh, God.
Yeehaw.
Also, oil is stop. I don't. It's weird.
Stop.
I don't like
it's
it.
not. Yeah, I'm just like, the order of this is not like, and I feel like, and we are rushing through this part, by the way. We have gotten rid of the like 4 paragraphs of extended description. This is all just happening really fast, and the pacing is not great. And we'll continue to discuss that near the end. So Winka's like, stop. Okay, guys, we're good. We're oiling up Sophie Ramsbottom. And then Wally Winka was kind of planning on caning her. Like, again, he keeps twirling his cane around, being like, I'm going to cane you. He was planning on caning her, but then, quote, broke protocol and decided that his cane was not the implement for the job. Oh no, he thought, only my hand will punish this bottom. So the title of this book,
is the caning factory.
it's the discipline caning spanking factory. Like,
and
that's
also,
the whole
but
caning.
like the whole thing was talking about spanking, so clearly he was planning on this.
Yeah, I mean, and I just thought it was a letdown. Like, people were like probably excited, you know, caning is a specific thing, I would think. And they're like, oh my gosh, we're going to get it. And now we're copping out and just using a hand to punish that bottom. But I did write such a fun plot twist. We thought it was going to be the cane, but now it's the hand. Oh my gosh.
Well, I assumed it was going to be the hand because he was like, I'm going to spank you. I actually thought the cane was a plot twist, honestly.
Cane doesn't do a spanking. Cane does a smacking, as Teddy Roosevelt once said.
As the I don't know. I was going to make a joke.
As Wonka Watch's favorite president on record, Teddy Roosevelt once
I think I was going to say, as the great Teddy Roosevelt once said, but I was like, I don't know how I feel about Teddy Roosevelt.
Yeah, we'll have a meeting offline to discuss, and then we will come back with our official answer, everybody. Wait, I know you're so stoked. Okay, so what a fun plot twist. And then the spanking commences. And despite this being the climax of the story, there is minimal description. It is in 1 paragraph, and all it is saying is that he spanks the ass. He goes from one cheek to the next, and then it abruptly ends. That entire time I've been talking, the final third and halfway through the final third, we get to the actual spanking. There is no caning. There is no follow through. She's just like, thank you, Mr. Winka. I'll be a good girl now. And then that's it. I'm like, what a letdown. What a letdown. Like, it could have been a year at the disciplinary and caning factory, whatever this is called. And then we could have had vignette short stories of each of these different naughty girls who could have been naughty for different reasons. And then we could have gone through many different ways to spank and or cane somebody.
So you're saying you wanted more?
Opportunity.
You're saying you wanted more?
No. Maybe. No. Yeah, no. In terms of artistic quality, I think it could have been a good series or something that Sylvia Crevass could have done. I personally would like
it could have been
something
this. Like, the 6-part Wendy Wonka and the Chocolate Fetish Factory.
Yes, something that at one point we will be getting to, and I will have to read. I'm so stoked. Well, golly gosh. So that's it. So now I have a little ranking, and I would like your input as well. So the first thing is spice level. I gave it 1 out of 5 peppers. I thought the spice level was weak.
Yeah, no.
There was too much description. And I mean, I didn't write it too much in my notes because it wasn't important, but I can't emphasize how much description there was on the stupid ball and the rules of the factory about how they bring a naughty girl in once a month. It just was, I didn't care. That wasn't the hot part. And there wasn't a hot part. So the spice level was weak.
Mm-hmm.
Writing quality was a 1. The grammar was awful. I had to edit a lot of what I said for the most part. The composition took up most of the story versus focusing on the plot. We really, again, didn't really have a plot. There was no denouement, crescendo, climax. There was no climax. Literally, it's not written in the story. And I'm like, what are we doing? Erotica, bad. And then my final thing was Wonka canon. How close are we to honoring the main characters? And I said, sure, I could see it. I could see Wonka having being caning. I don't think that the outfit made sense. And I think him bowing with his hat and a big gesture kind of made sense. But beside from that, I don't think we had enough Wonka-isms for me to really be like, oh yeah, that is a fair parody of Willy Wonka.
I'm going to ask an awful question, but I feel like I have to as a co-host of this podcast. Which Wonka do you think would be the most likely to moonlight as Wally Winka?
Why do I have a bad feeling that when you ask me that for every story we're going to read, it's going to be TJ Wonka?
Really?
He has the seduction eyes. Come on. The most weird, chaotic, unknown Wonka.
But TJ Wonka is more boring enough also to be that pedantic about the exercise ball rules.
And to be clear, he would still be animated. Yeah. It'd be like Space Jam, but spanking.
Yeah, imagine the TJ Wonka with the Pillsbury Doughboy, and what a treat.
What a delicious little treat. So that was the beautiful story of hold on, why did my mouth stop working?
I'm still
That was the beautiful story of the mystery golden ticket to the discipline and punishment caning factory, which, I don't know if the title really fits. So well, it looks like we've run out of time for anything else, but man, just as a snippet, guys, the next one, whenever we do another one of these episodes, because I feel like we have to, the title is Magically Turned Gay, I Want Candy. So that's next.
And the Wonka alias is Simon Sugarman.
Simon Sugarman. And y'all, I'm not going to lie, it was pretty good. It's funny. It's like it's a wild experience, and I have so many thoughts on it that
it's no Willy Wonka and the Caning Factory.
It's in a good way.
Yeah,
in a good way. So, overall, Felicia, I would love to hear your thoughts on, your first taste of Wonka erotica. Like, do you, I don't even know what the question is. Just how are we? How are we doing?
I enjoyed my time. It reminded me of being in college and reading shitty fan fictions for fun.
Mm-hmm.
It made me very happy. I mean, I was devastated to have to listen to it, but it's that kind of like that I hate this, but I'm having the time of my life,
Yes, yeah.
I really enjoyed it. Weirdly, this was a relief. It was very relaxing. I got to make whatever stupid bullshit jokes I wanted, and I ate Cheez-Its. I had a great day.
Exactly. I read this in 15 minutes, by the way.
Wow. We spent more time talking about it than you did reading it.
Exactly, because there were so many there's so many things that were questionable and that were just required some like editorial review. So I guess with that, do you have any prequel predictions?
There's gonna be a scene where Wonka tries on new clothes at a clothing store.
Ooh, I love that. I think there will be Wonka fan fiction between Timmy Wonka and Tom Holland Spider-Man specifically. That will be erotic.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
See, the thing is we're starting to get enough listeners where someone could write that to make that prediction real for you.
No. I mean, thank you, but at what cost? At what cost to them and to us and the world at large?
Unless it's good. No, I'm kidding.
It becomes one of those ones where they're like, oh, everyone really liked it. Let me change the character names, and now it's going to be a bestseller.
They shave off the serial numbers and put it on fucking...
And we're the ones that inspired it. I'll write the foreword. Reach out to me.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Man, what a time.
Gosh. Oh, well.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, thank you, everybody.
For listening to this episode of Wonka Watch. It's like we're doing a little trade-off. It's like a colors.
It's really cute.
This is awful. If you enjoyed this episode, you can follow us on Instagram at Wonka Watch and TikTok at Wonka Watch. I
just realized of all the episodes to not introduce the podcast, we did not say what Wonka Watch is at the beginning of this podcast. People just entered it. Oh no!
Do we want to put it in intro now?
I don't even know if it's worth it, man.
I don't think it is.
Can we even save a Wonka Erotica episode?
If someone starts with Wonka Erotica, that's on them.
That's on them,
their
and
fault.
they know. So yeah, I feel safe.
This one's for the deep cut listeners. The ones who really stick through it.
Okay, sorry. Continue.
Anyway, yeah. You can follow us on Wonka Watch on TikTok and Instagram. And if you have things to discuss, if you want to yell at us for making you listen to this, you can email us at wonkaraptor@gmail.com. We also have the main way you can support the podcast is on Buy Me a Coffee. You can do one-time donations there and we'll do a little song for you. And we now have a monthly like Patreon-esque program where we are program. Like what am I? Like I'm a business. Like I'm an opera. Anyway.
Oh la la program.
Oh la la.
We have a Buy Me Coffee tier level for patrons.
Okay, that's cool. So on on there, for $5 a month, you can get access to one guaranteed piece of content, and then most months a bonus piece of content. Also, you get a little Wonka Scholar diploma with your name on it.
It's very cute.
And you get our little song as well. This month we put up a commentary track for the 1971 film. Very fun. You know, enjoy the film with us.
Delicious.
And a video of us absolutely roasting the shit out of a bunch of book covers. It's like an hour long. Like, it's long. These are not short. These are... Believe it or not, we can still talk about Wonka for hours at a time.
It's ridiculous.
But because of this, we do have a song to do. We do have a song to do because we have a new Wonka Scholar.
Oh my goodness.
And it's our Wonka Scholar that's made previous appearances. They found the Wonkanizer. It's Micah.
Micah!
And I've loaded up a classic rock organ. I don't know what that's gonna sound like.
Oh my god.
It's so
what am I
bad.
supposed to do with this?
Can I let me see if I can find like a spooky organ.
Oh, I like it.
Heavy metal organ.
Oh yeah.
What? Okay, let me try another one because this is also not working. Soul organ.
Yeah. Whoa, whoa. There it is. Another Wonka Scholar joining our ranks. Ooh, wah, ah. Now look, there is Micah. Thank you for supporting the podcast, Micah. What a gem you are. I don't know how I'm supposed to sing to this backtrack. It's like a cat on a piano. But Micah, you brought us the Wonkanizer. Did you get your COVID vaccine with Pfizer? Because I hope you're healthy, because thank you for donating to this podcast. Our friendship will always last. Thank you so much, Micah. Maya, 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 Maya,
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much.
All right, we still have to say goodbye. Wonka Erotica is not important.
Yeah, your cheeks might be hurting.
I am gonna. What the fuck was the main character's name? I don't even remember.
Sophie Ramsbottom.
Sophie Ramsbottom, you are not important.
You are so unimportant. The lesbian factory workers, I hope you are freed one day. And Wally Winka, I think you're the naughty boy that needs a good spanking. But it's not that important.
It's not that important. Bye.
Bye.